Yes, I am aware of the bags under my eyes and I probably look exhausted. It is currently 2 o'clock in the morning and it's the 4th night in a row that my toddler has not let me sleep. But anyways, hello everyone, my name is Maritello and I share everything I find interesting, and we are on part 3 of my Helluva Boss Commentary. I am still recording. In a day or two I will be recording the last 3 episodes of season 2 and I'll be finally done. I was supposed to be done by Easter and it is currently June, literally the eve of my youngest sister's 22nd birthday. Shiloh, happy birthday. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling kind of done with the world in general, so let's get into a fictional world. Helluva Boss. And this is part 3 of the commentary on it. We are going to be going through, I believe, Western Energy, Truth Seekers. Doesn't matter how many episodes we're going through, we're gonna have a great time, and you're gonna have a great time with me because I'm fun. I'm fun. I think my subscriber count would tell you different. However, since posting the reaction and doing like my little clips and stuff, I have gotten like another 80 subscribers on YouTube and close to 200 subscribers, which for the last 2 years, if you didn't know, I've been stuck at like 50, 60 subscribers. So the fact that I've gone from 50, 60 subscribers to almost 200 within like less than a month is huge. So thank you very much for everyone who has subscribed and supported all of my silly theories and this series and other series. And speaking of, if you like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Leave a like on this video as well and share it with your friends and fellow Helluva Boss lovers. I also do a lot of stuff on TikTok. I do skits, I do mini theories, basically anything that I feel like doing. And I also have an Instagram. The link for that and my TikTok is in the description below. I usually put my username somewhere on the screen for TikTok. I usually don't do it for Instagram. I don't post a lot on my Instagram. And of course, make sure that you leave a comment at the end of the video so I know what I should make TikToks and YouTube shorts out of. And I hope you enjoy these jokes. I'm not gonna lie, I think I was very drunk for half of this. So you're gonna get some rambling. Anywho, let's not talk about my alcoholism. With all of that out of the way, grab a drink and a snack and let's dive right in. Alright, before we get into the next episode, which is Harvest Moon Festival, which I've literally been calling Western Energy every time I have mentioned it in my head, I should clarify a few things. I might have had a little bit to drink tonight. The appropriate number of rum and cokes for me is 0. The number I have had tonight is 2. But it's kind of appropriate because, like cherubs, I am not a fan of Harvest Moon Festival and I probably will have a lot of things to say about it, just like I had with cherubs. Do I think it's as bad as cherubs? No. Is it possible that I'm from Texas and also do not have any kind of country to me at all except for the fact I can shoot a .22 rifle? Maybe a little biased. Yeah, maybe a little biased. But we're gonna get through this. I actually don't know where people usually put this on their list or not. I personally put Harvest Moon Festival kind of low because I already like Murder Family, Lululand, and Spring Broken way more than I like Western Energy. No, Harvest Moon Festival. See what I mean? It's so easy because it's like a Western themed Anyway, we're just gonna get into it. Don't listen to my stupid rants.
I'm sorry for having to move our little rendezvous early.
Didn't Stella just get mad at you for sleeping with an imp in their bed and you're doing it again? I just realized this isn't a motel. I always thought this was like a fancy schmancy motel. But no. Stolas, you're an idiot. I wonder your wife trying to kill you. Oh, I spoiled. Sorry.
It's celebrated by a very charming little festival with the locals.
Wrath, huh? My employees are from there. I've never really been. I hear it's full of inbred chuckle fucks.
I'm assuming that if you're watching this video, you kind of understand Vivzi's lore as far as how hell is done. But just in case, I'm going to go ahead and explain it because I've had enough to drink anyway that I don't really care. And also it's important to know. The way Vivzi has imagined hell is in 7 different rings representing the 7 deadly sins. It's very similar to Inferno, Dante's Inferno from the Divine Comedy, which has 11 circles. The 7 rings of hell represent the 7 deadly sins. And for whatever reason, Instead of like how Dante's Inferno is, where the sinners are in like every circle depending on the sin that got them into hell, the Helliverse version of hell is done where imps and demons and all them can reside in any of the rings of hell, but sinners, the ones who are earthborn, can only reside in the Pride Ring. Probably because Lucifer, who created hell, resides there as well. That's what I'm assuming. I don't know. But for whatever reason, sinners cannot go to the other rings of hell. They can only hang out in Pride. But the imps, they can go wherever. So like Angel Dust, Alistair, the V's, Carmilla, they couldn't go to all these rings. But like imps or Goetias, they can go to whatever ring they want. So the imps have their business in the Pride Ring for sinners, but the sinners couldn't go to wrath or lust or gluttony or sloth. Does it make any sense that I'm actually explaining this? I don't know, I just felt like I had to.
Why don't you all join me at the festival? I can guarantee you all special access.
As someone who has grown up going to country fairs and different celebrations and things like that, don't go unless you want to get a heart attack from the fried food, dance to country music, or if you go to like Oktoberfest, because I'm also German, polka music, which they do the chicken dance about 500 times. Like if you go to Oktoberfest in Fredericksburg, yeah, that's what happens. And if you want to like just get in a fight with someone's baby mama because you called their kid fat, yeah, go. Not based on actual experience, of course. I'm a nice kid. This is like the third or fourth Phantom of the Opera reference in regards to Moxie. I don't know what it is with Moxie and the Phantom of the Opera. I am assuming it's his favorite musical. It is one of my favorite musicals. And it had been my favorite musical until I found out about Sweeney Todd and Heathers. But I do enjoy all of these little... His ringtone's a Phantom of the Opera. I wish I would have thought of that.
We know you aren't making as much anymore since y'all went freelance.
So here is another thing that I had actually said on a TikTok that turned out to be true. Her mom saying that you're not making as much money since y'all went freelance. For the ones who don't understand Southern talk, y'all can mean multiple or y'all can mean one. That's just how it goes. She's not talking about her and Moxie. She's talking about Millie by herself because Millie was a freelance assassin before going to IMP. And before that, she was helping out on the ranch. And that is why she uses y'all. She's not referring to her and Moxie because her and Moxie met on the job. Done.
Y'all remember my husband, Moxie?
Greetings, Lynn. Joe, how have you been with all the flaming twisters and stuff around here?
We lost our old farmhand to one of them terrors last week.
oh, crumbs.
I always find it really funny that, like, the stereotype in every single cartoon ever is that just the in-laws hate the spouse. Like, my husband is my dad's absolute favorite person ever. He loves my husband. And I get along with my mother-in-law swimmingly, for the most part. I love my mother-in-law. I've always thought of her like a mother. And it's always really weird because that's what I was scared of when I got married. Is like, oh my god, my mother-in-law is going to hate me. But no, my mother-in-law loves me, and I love my mother-in-law.
She's my daughter.
Only on paper. Y'all don't deserve to know my name.
I love Luna's outfit, specifically for the fact this was not my style, but Luna's outfit was my younger sister's style, with the flannel and the short shorts, because my mom's side owns a ranch, so I grew up on dealing with the ranch. And when we used to go out, most of us would wear like semi-country clothing, because, you know, you're dealing with brush and stickers and cacti and all that. Never owned a pair of cowgirl boots until about a year ago, though. But, you know, you dress with, like, long sleeves and jeans and closed-toed shoes. And my sister would go out in the shorts and flannel, just like Luna.
Oh, looky here. You must be the famous Mildred. Heard some good things about you from your folks, little lady.
I get to go on a Striker rant. I don't care if y'all want to hear it or not. I have things to say about Striker, and you know what? He makes me so angry that my actual southern accent started coming out, and that's how you know I get mad. Stryker is my least favorite antagonist. I think he is the worst antagonist out of any of them. And I don't care. I don't care if he's your favorite villain. I don't care if you ship him with whoever the hell you ship him with, because I've seen so much Stryker and Chaz that is just absolutely weird. But, like, hear me out. The way he is introduced, great, terrific. Do you know how he would have been done better? Given him a backstory with Millie. I thought he was going to be introduced as like Millie's ex-boyfriend, maybe even ex-fiance, and that's why her parents like him so much. But no, and the ranch thing, like, why is he even a ranch hand? Like, there's no reason for it, because he's here to kill Stolas, and there's literally no freaking reason for him to be a ranch hand, no reason for him to be hired by Millie's parents. There's no reason. This entire, like, episode, absolutely unnecessary. And then later he becomes some egotistical jerk. Like, I don't even mind him this much in this episode if his character was done just a little better. But no, he's a freaking assassin for whatever reason, working at a ranch hand with no connection to anyone but Stolas, for the fact that Stella's trying to kill him. There's no reason for him to be on the ranch. There's no reason for him to try to connect with Blitz. There's literally nothing. Okay, my rant's over.
Oh, so you're the bold imp that started his own killing biz.
Yeah, well, when you're good at something, you should probably capitalize.
Not many imps start businesses on their own. That's pretty impressive, sir.
I'm just taking, like, a good look at the scenery, because I know it's very stereotypical for, like, barren land, grass, some cacti, and some rocks. It's so accurate. It's so accurate to Texas. I'm just pointing that out. We don't all walk around in pearl snap button-ups, those are meant for church, and jeans and cowboy boots like some of us do, but a lot of us don't. Are you laughing? Are you saying I'm wrong? No, we don't all walk around in Western wear. We don't all ride horses. We don't all carry guns on us 24/7. 24/7. Like, most of us carry them at least some point of the day. The pickup truck thing, though, like, accurate. We like, just moved out to North Carolina, and the, like, minimum amount of trucks we have seen is baffling. And I know I'm on a rant again. I'm rambling. Rum and Cokes do that.
But he's not like, you know, we're not doing what's between. It's a transactional fucking, you see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Uh-huh. You just keep telling yourself that, Blitz. Just keep telling yourself that.
Sorry, boy, but I don't think sensitive thespian types would last very long in the games.
I was born here too. I have some fight in me.
Why does this remind me of the times I have, like, volunteered to go shooting with my dad? Ugh.
Nah, with these, bullets can't pierce a shell. You gotta get the knife underneath and pry yourself an opening.
Oh, right. I knew that.
Do hogs in hell have bulletproof shells? That doesn't make any sense, because a bullet, like, should be powerful, especially if you hit it, like, at a close distance like that. Should be able to penetrate just as good as a knife. I guess you got to get under, and I get that, but, like, are they completely bulletproof? And if it's bulletproof, why has no one made any, like, advances in this? Because it feels like this, like, takes place in, like, early 2000s at, like, the least. I'm just saying. Should have a little more, like, better bullets then. See, the knife didn't work either. Y'all are stupid. Stryker did basically exactly what Moxie did. I didn't see him go under the shell. And Moxie is, like, strong enough to do it too. Again, the episodes with the less logic are the ones that I don't like the most. That's why I don't like cherubs. I just went on a whole cherub rant the other day about that. But of course, this is a video, so it just happened right before this one. So, I mean, blah.
I hereby welcome you all to another year of celebrating the spoils of your labor that continue to feed the citizens of Hell.
I always, like, since this episode was released, I saw how, like, upset the other imps looked while Stolas was making this speech, and I was like, there's gonna be a revolution anyway, but these guys, like, literally do not like this guy. I didn't like Stolas at this point of the series either, but, like, they, like, hate him. Also, calling him tiny wrath imps, like, I know that he does it with Blitz too, but also he gets like really judgmental over anyone who is smaller, like physically, than him. And I don't particularly like that either. I'm happy that he like kind of edges off of that later on in the series. But at this point, like when I was watching this from the like very beginning, I couldn't stand Stolas, and I was really upset that he came up in like every single episode. It's the Serpentious effect. The Serpentious effect. What's the Serpentious effect? I already explained. I didn't like Serpentious either. And I was hoping he was to be a one-off character too after I watched the pilot. Hated Serpentious, slowly grew to love him, became one of my favorite characters, absolutely adore him, and Stolas does the same thing, but we're not there yet, so I'm gonna judge him. Thank you very much.
Good luck to you all! Especially that sexy little one there. Yoo-hoo, Blitzy!
Wow, you really have no shame and really are trying your best to hide this affair to the world, aren't you, Stolas? Wow, why do I hate Stolas so much in the first season? Ugh. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm trying to be nice. I was really mean about cherubs. What's with the shark? I get it. Reoccurring joke, rule of three. It's funny. It is funny. But, like, if it is supposed to be, like, a southern representation, don't put a shark. Like, there are some sharks that can be in fresh water, but there's none in the south. We're too dry for that. There's none. We in a drought. The past 100 years, we've been in a drought. We can't, like, water our grass more than every other day because of it. And only at specific times where we get fined. Yes, that's an actual thing in Texas. Odd numbers one day, even numbers the other day, like as far as your address number goes. Look it up. We don't get sharks.
The winners are Striker and my darling Blitzy!
Just say my name right, fucking dick.
You really are trying so hard to hide this affair, Stolas. Why, you know what? I'm gonna save it for Aussies, but like, I have more comments. This is totally like biased on my end, but I freaking hate this song. And it's a country song. I don't like country, and I think we already established that with Spring Broken, anything but country. Some country songs, I make an exception. I don't like country songs. And I could go on a rant. I could give you the same reason I gave everyone when I was in high school. I just don't like them. I don't like the stigma of them. I don't like how they can, like, talk about whatever the heck they want. As long as it's got a country twang to it. It could talk about whatever they want. They could talk about... We're not getting into it. I'm sorry. I said I wasn't going to get into it, and I'm getting into it. But I don't like country music.
Mox, I think you've had enough for now. Let's head back to the house and get you clean.
See, that line specifically towards Moxie 1 doesn't make any sense because he's been completely against Blitz the whole time, and he has been, like, kind of against Moxie the whole time. This would have made so much more sense and made such a better story, in my personal opinion. Take notes. If Striker was like an ex-boyfriend or an ex-fiance, because then he'd have more of a reason to like poke fun at Moxie. He has no reason to poke fun at Moxie. He has no reason to go off on Moxie except for the fact that his boss, which is Millie's dad, doesn't like Moxie, but there's no reason for him to do that in the first place because he's using it as a cover-up, I guess. See, the whole ranch hand thing just doesn't make sense to me. And I've gone country again, and I don't like it. How have I not noticed that? Who's that one? Who's that adorable little, like, ranch hand or maybe brother of Millie? How have I never met him before? He's adorable. Let's talk about him. I see people talk about random characters all the time. He's adorable. I'd go for that. Although I don't really like country boys, but there have been some real cute country boys in my day. That's one of them right there. Maybe it's because it's carrying a jack-o'-lantern and it's kind of spooky, and maybe I go for him more, but I like him. He's my new favorite.
Oh my crumbles. genuine Carmine-crafted blessing-tipped rifle.
What's really great about this is when Harvest Moon Festival came out, the Has-Been Hotel Season 1 hadn't come out yet. And I think it might have been in development during this time. But we didn't know who Carmela Carmine was. So when I heard the word Carmine, it didn't matter to me. And then I watched when Has-Been Hotel came out, like a year or 2, 3 later. Then the name made sense to me. And I was like, oh, well, this makes more sense. Because she, like, takes the Angel of Steel and it takes care of that. But, like, we didn't have, like, the name Carmine associated. We saw, like, her daughters pick up the steel in the pilot from, like, the angelic weapons. But we didn't know any of this. We didn't know about the angelic steel. We didn't know about the Carmine. We didn't know about how all this, like, played in the lore. And now we do. And it's really nice to go back and, like, get those questions answered. Because people like Danny Mata, who watched Has-Been Hotel before Helluva Boss, will be like, oh, Carmela Carmine. People like me, who have been following this show for the last 5 years since the pilot, had no freaking clue. Well, maybe they did. I don't know. I don't think we really got a whole lot of Carmela Carmine lore before then. But yeah. Anywho.
Why don't you ask me, little dude?
Shit! Why do you have this, mister?
Also, I do want to point something out that I find kind of weird. Carmela Carmine is like the biggest weapon dealer in hell, right? So why is it a big deal that Stryker got their hands on it? Is it because he's an imp and, like, it's really hard for imps to get it because of how expensive they are? Because Serpentius just gets them all the time from Carmela anyway. Or is this, like, way in the future after Has-Been Hotel and Carmela Carmine is just not a thing anymore and it's more of an antique vintage thing? But it can't be because Charlie was doing her Inside of Every Demon is a Rainbow thing in the pilot, but the pilot's not canon anymore, and I'm going on another rant again. As someone who grew up in the mafia and then also entered an assassin business, it's kind of sad how little combat Moxie actually has in a situation like this. And I get it because he's supposed to be, like, sensitive, thespian type, but, like, it also kind of makes me a little sad. It makes me want. I mean, he's a weapons expert, you know, not hand-to-hand combat, but you'd think he'd have something on him, especially with, like, the array of freaking weaponry he just had in the Cherubs episode out of nowhere. You think he had, like, one of his pistols in 3 colors. You know what I mean?
Pathetic.
I don't even care if she got knocked over. That's just example number 3 of Millie being a complete feral badass queen. I love her. Have I made it clear that I love Millie?
I got worse than this during the flower toss at my brother's wedding. But I caught that fucking bouquet, and it was fucking worth it.
Do y'all think that, like, her saying that she caught the bouquet and it was worth it is, like, a subtle compliment to Moxie? Because I've thought that since day one. I thought it was, like, a very subtle, like, way of being like, it was worth it. I caught the bouquet. I got a dope-ass husband. Because that's how I've always, like, conceived that. And I know it's a very small line, but, like, I've also, like, dissected other small lines in this so far. So I don't think that's weird for me to do it again.
Not with your hands, baby. Use what you're good at.
I'm not good with my hands? Oh, right. Yeah.
See? That's what I'm talking about. You had that the whole time. Why didn't you use it on Stryker earlier? Like, even if you couldn't, like, kill him, because I think it's, I don't know the whole lore thing. I know sinners can only be killed by angelic steel. I know Grisha royalty can only be killed by angelic steel. I don't know how imps work. But, like, if you had the gun, at least stun him so you can run the hell away, and then your wife wouldn't be caught in a bear trap. Why am I hating on Moxie all of a sudden? I love Moxie. He's a freaking adorable little Phantom of the Opera loving little fuzzball of adorableness, and I will not take my own criticism on him, apparently. I think I've had too much to drink. I agree. Did you just say you agree? No, I think you're hearing voices.
And you were so above sucking on a disgusting, rich, pompous Goetia, only to sneak topside for scraps and work for bitter sinners who could care less who you are, when you could be slaying overlords.
See, there's only so many overlords and royalty, though, and sinners are abundant and come all the time. So in my opinion, you can F right off, and Blitz clearly is, like, onto something. But, you know, keep killing royalty until there's no more royals left, and then you're stuck with scraps. Striker.
We could be the most dangerous beings in hell, Blitz.
Wow, that was a good fucking pitch.
This scene is always I thought was way too heated for for what it's supposed to be. And I know it's supposed to be so sensual and hot and sexy. I just don't see a need for it. Also, I don't see why people find Striker attractive. It could be because I'm from Texas and this is the kind of people I had to deal with in the dating pool that were completely not my type. I swear, I literally, like, tried to flirt with a guy that I worked with at a movie theater, and I said, "What are you doing this weekend?" And he told me stock show, and I immediately, like, was turned off and never found him attractive again. So, where was I going with this? Striker's not sexy. I'm sorry, what? What did you say? You're hearing voices again, Mom. What did you say? Freaking gaslighting me in my own video. I don't like that.
I still think it's embarrassing. You're wasting a lot of potential relying on a weak little...
You gonna finish that fucking sentence, partner?
Moxie should have ended him. Honestly, I think Striker deserved to be shot more than Chaz did, personally. And, like, no one likes Chaz. Well, I like Chaz. Personally, I think Moxie should have taken the shot, honestly. Although we wouldn't get so much lore if he did, I guess.
You two are getting on our case about being hurt by a psychopath you hired? Shame on you.
I love Moxie. This Moxie, honestly, out of any of the guys in Has Been Hotel, and I know that there's more coming up, but out of all the guys in Has Been Hotel, Moxie is like the most husband material. Because he sticks by Millie, he supports her, he encourages her, he stands up to her own parents for it. Like, he's just such a great freaking partner, and that is why I think Moxie and Millie, despite Stolitz, despite Osmodeus and Fizzaroli that we get to see later, despite literally any other relationship that I might be thinking not of right now, they're the most wholesome and best and healthiest relationship out of anyone in hell. And I would challenge it with any of them, really.
I want this cheating prick dead. I don't care who you have to go through. Make it happen!
This also just reminds me of how what's the word I'm thinking of? How dysfunctional Stolas' family really is. Like, literally Octavia's listening to music, tuning out whatever conversation was going on beforehand. Stolas, like, doesn't even register that she could be talking about him. Like, he gives, like, a little bit of a, like, wait, what? But he doesn't do anything, and we see later on that he doesn't know it's Stella trying to kill him. Stolas is completely checked out of this relationship. Stella is on a rampage because she got cheated on, which it's understandable to an extent, but also we know that Stella has been this way since she was young. So, you know, there's that. But, like, Stolas is checked out. Octavia's checked out. Stella's the only one who is, like, still in this relationship, and she's not in the relationship because she loves Stolas or cares about Stolas. She's invested in the relationship because of wealth and reputation, and it's very clear that that's all that it is. And it's just so it's so interesting to see this. And that was the Harvest Moon Festival. Honestly, I don't like it that much. I really don't like the Harvest Moon Festival that much. It's one of my least favorite. have a lot of issues with Stryker specifically. Like I said, Spring Broken, in my opinion, is almost like a perfect episode. It had an amazing antagonist, a great backstory. It had the playful, funny banter. It had the action. It had banging freaking songs, great soundtrack, great side plots with Moxie and with Luna. But with Harvest Moon Festival, you just don't get it as much. I think Stryker as an antagonist is so freaking weak. He could have been done way better, in my opinion. And the fact that, like, it feels like it's trying to do two different, like, backstories for him is just, it's unnecessary. He could have just met up with them at the festival and, like, clicked with Blitz. Like, the affiliation with Millie's parents, it wasn't even needed for it to be a good antagonist. But then you added the fact that he's a ranch hand, which would mean that maybe he has some history with Millie, which honestly would have been way better in my personal opinion. But that's, you know, that's just my personal opinion. I know a lot of people who love Stryker. I just don't like him. I think he's a weak antagonist. I think his backstory is weak. I think his personality, like, dwindles on. He was very, like, he was an intimidating antagonist, but his backstory, weak. His later on episodes, weak. I just don't like him that much. Sorry to you Stryker lovers. Stryker honestly is part of the reason I don't like this episode. That's a big reason I don't like this episode. So the next episode that we're gonna watch is Truth Seekers. Now the thing about Truth Seekers is when it first came out, it took a long time for it to actually come out between Harvest Moon Festival and here compared to the others, because it was on a really consistent schedule, and then out of nowhere Truth Seekers just took forever. But I do really like Truth Seekers. I think the wait was semi okay but that was also because I'm an impatient being. But yeah, let's get into it.
The boys are in trouble! Open it again!
Blitz was using a total of 0 euphemisms, innuendos, or swears. That means it was serious, which means I don't open it until—
Open the fucking portal now!
So, Blitz not cursing means it's serious, and Millie cursing means it is. Also, I paused right where it says, with the backpack where it says Blitz's emergency bag, and it's spelled like the medicine, like the vitamin C medicine you're supposed to take when you're sick. That's beautiful. I like that.
Hey, tell us, demon scum, who do you work for? Satan?
How did you get to our world from the afterlife?
I love the agents in this episode so much. I think that they were done really, really well for the purpose that they were made for, and which is to be like conspiracist / agents for actual government. Very X-Files-esque agents, but with a bit of humor because no one actually takes them seriously. I do get kind of like a more comedic version of like Mulder and Scully from them, and I dig that so much.
I want something iced, bitch, Mox.
I'll have a Neapolitan cappuccino, more cappa than chino. Make sure it's got no more than 4 ounces of milk. The beans won't have the right texture otherwise. And make sure they spell my name correctly on the cup. They always put Foxy or Roxy. I hate that. If you can't handle that, I'll have a venti traditional misto. Please use soy milk with 2 blonde shots, affogato and ristretto. I'd also love 3 vanilla pumps at the very bottom. Then add the coffee after. Then add—
Enough!
That scene always makes me laugh. Only because I have my best friend from like middle school. Hi Bryce, I know you're gonna watch this. And I remember going to Starbucks with her after it had been a few years seeing each other, and we decided to go meet up at Starbucks. And I was just like, I just want a caramel rip and crunch frappuccino. It's the same thing I've been ordering since high school. I'm not very picky. And I remember her order, not this complex, but I remember it being complex. Don't ask me what it was. I don't remember. But I remember it being complex enough for me to laugh because I was like, oh my god, you did the thing. The thing that people that look like us are like made fun of for doing. So yeah, every time I see this little bit, I literally am just like, oh yeah, no, I'll have an iced coffee. And then I remember her order after that, and it's beautiful.
You've had us tied here for what, hours? And you haven't even had us confirm what exactly we are.
What are you?
I'm a Virgo.
That is still, in my opinion, the funniest joke in this entire episode.
I mean, that's what it sounded like back there, you sickos.
Please don't give them ideas, sir.
Why not? I know the shit you're into.
I just noticed Moxie's face right after he said that. This is like the best, like, this is why this episode is one of my favorites in this series, because it like combines like really good like buddy cop comedy with like X-Files style interrogation and like a ton of action, and it's so like, it's so well done compared to the last few. Like, you could tell that they put so much effort into this one, and it was worth it. Also, I think this is the first one that had like the same length of as like a full episode of like a TV show, because I remember the others were like 15, maybe 20 minutes. This was like a 25-minute episode, and it was so worth the wait.
This where they ended up?
Do they have Donatello style bow staffs as freaking weapons? I don't know. Okay, so I don't watch a ton. Well, that's a lie. I watch a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Okay, so the 80s one I know doesn't. I don't remember if the movies do, and I'm pretty sure the 2003 one does it, but the 2012 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Donatello's bow staff has like a blade. Like that. I don't know what I was going with this. I think I was just pointing out because Donatello. I don't. Bum. I don't know why I never noticed the second agent that actually got the coffee spit take on him. Again, this is my like comfort show and also my emotional support noise. So the fact that I haven't like sat down and watched this in probably a year and a half probably says a lot about the little details I have missed. Because I've watched this series countless times, but I usually just listen to it while I'm cleaning or just kind of doing random house chores or just need something in the background so I don't have a full-on freaking panic attack. Things like that. I also put it in the background when I'm playing Beat Saber because when I take the headset off, I want something to look at other than the idea of a burglar coming into my door as I'm playing. So I have Helluva Boss on in the background when I play Beat Saber. But I don't really pay attention to the background a lot for that reason. It's really fun to kind of like take a look and see all the things I have missed over the years. Seeing that I have watched this series since the day the pilot was released. Also, this episode has so much more action than anything that had ever followed it. And I was really worried that this is like setting the scene for the rest of the series, because I'm not a huge action fan. And obviously, of course, there is some combat and action before this episode, but this one just made it way more intense. The animation obviously is like 10 times better. The writing's phenomenal. The music is amazing in the background. I was really scared that this is like the turn that this series was going to take, which I'm very grateful that it wasn't, because again, I'm not a huge action fan. But I can't deny that this is such a good episode. It is so well done.
Well, we could play games.
Yeah.
So, I know they hit the truth serum, and I kind of get maybe haha gas. What is the purpose of bitch juice? I really want to know what the purpose of bitch juice is and what it like entails. Do you mean bitch like as in complain? Because that sounds like something I don't want to deal with. Or do you mean just like an angry person that could possibly have the strength to like break down a wall? Because then I wouldn't call it bitch juice. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it. Maybe it's supposed to be a funny haha thing. Haha guess, yeah. But I don't know.
Do you ever honestly shut up about Millie? It's always, oh, how's Millie? I can't tonight. I'm hanging with Millie. I'm so worried about Millie. And she's always 5 fucking feet away from you. It's pathetic.
Did you just insult not only my Moxie, but his relationship as well? Ugh. And you're one to talk. You're the one who literally sits there and, like, stalks them. Like, clearly you think it's cute just as much as I do.
Sir, they're filling this room with something.
I also think this is the first episode from, like, him kicking up, like, the gas that I realized that Moxie has, like, inverted knees, like a goat. And I didn't realize it until this episode. I was like, wait, what's up with Moxie's legs? Oh, it's demon legs. But wait, Blitz doesn't have that, neither does Millie. So, I don't know. Just again, things I thought.
You have shitty taste in music. I'm sorry.
Shit taste? You said you liked that musical I recommended to you.
I lied. I left halfway through.
You said you loved it.
It was awful, Moxie. It was about ugly, horny cats.
I'm sure he's referring to cats, and I am right there with you. I also do not like cats. Not even like the live action rendition. I just mean in general, I don't like Cats the musical. And by the way, why would you recommend that to Blitz? There are so many others that he would probably like. He would probably like the like dark comedies like Heathers or Sweeney Todd. Why would you recommend Cats to Blitz? I think Moxie might need to do a little more analysis on Blitz before recommending a musical to him.
Damn it, Moxie. This is all your fault.
How is this my fault?
The trips! I love the trips. I hardcore analyzed specifically Blitz's trip. But, like, I analyzed the hell out of this. Never got to make a video about it. Maybe I'll talk about a little about everything. But, like, oh boy, I'm excited. I love this episode so much. Specifically for the lore. Like I said, everything else, like animation, the writing, like the action scenes, phenomenal. What I like it about is the lore. Because we got so much background on Blitz. Oh, we're about to get all into it. I'm excited.
Why do you sound like that?
Because you, my precious little bitch boy,
Stop it,
are
sir.
tripping balls.
Also, combining like a Disney-esque style animation with Phantom of the Opera. Love. Oh my gosh. I was semi hoping that like a little Millie would pop up in a Christine dress, because this is a very like Phantom and Raoul situation, and I am here for it.
I'm torturing you in your hallucination.
So Moxie's gives me like Disney vibes, and obviously it's like supposed to be like Phantom of the Opera, which again is like the fourth like reference to Phantom of the Opera that's been associated with Moxie. Love that. But then Blitz, I don't know why, and I'm sure other people have thought this too, but Blitz's trip gives me like Salad Fingers vibes. There's no reason for it to give me Salad Fingers vibes aside from like the barren wasteland in front of it. But like no characters look like something from Salad Fingers. It just gives me Salad Fingers vibes. And I, again, am here for it 100%. And I am so ready to like talk about some of like the analysis stuff that I have never got to talk about. So let's do it.
I simply follow your orders. It isn't my fault if your orders are as nonsensical as a sun-tanning bed left out on the cold, rainy porch of a fresh April shower.
Why are you talking like that? What the fuck does that even mean?
So first thing is, the clown costume doesn't look like anything we have ever seen him wear before in his life. So I don't know where this is coming from. It doesn't look like something he wore at Lululand. It doesn't look like anything from any of his circus posters. It doesn't look like anything he wore as a kid. But that is like him as a clown. And Moxie starts as like the doodle that he made of him for Verosika, which I think is really cute. Nothing like too big on that. Maybe it's just like in his head he's like, oh, I created Moxie into the person he is, but like honestly it could just be how he perceives him in his little trippy mind.
Don't know go. Eventually everyone goes.
Because you're thoughtless and cruel and you'll end up alone.
So hearing Moxie like say he's gonna end up alone in his part really sets the scene for like I think is like, well, I mean, it's pretty obvious, but like Blitz's biggest fears. So the first one is being exploited in the way that he was as a kid. And I'm gonna go through this in like a Blitz timeline at some point. But he doesn't want to like be controlled by someone. But we're not focusing on that. What we're focusing right now is Blitz's biggest fear. Blitz's biggest fear is dying alone. And why? Well, we get through all the trauma and stuff, but you know what? You're watching this and saw that I'm doing a whole recap of this and not a reaction, so we're gonna talk about it. I don't care. Spoilers ahead. Blitz kills his mom over an accident that happens at a circus. He sets the thing on fire by accident. He injures his best friend. He kills his mother, and as a result of killing his mother, his sister, his twin sister, does not want anything to do with him. He has just like lost every single person that ever mattered to him in that instant. And because he has lost literally everyone he cares about, he has commitment issues, which is why he's not with Veronica anymore. After they had a really serious thing going on, he broke up with her as soon as it got like serious, probably when she got the tattoo. And because of those commitment issues and the fact that he craves like that closeness to someone, but will also push them away because he has that trauma, he is scared of dying alone. And this whole episode just like really like forces in that fear of him dying alone and being alone because everyone that he has ever genuinely loved and cared about is gone. Wow, I got really, we're 10 minutes into this episode and I just like did a whole full-blown analysis. Sorry. But like, yeah, I mean, that's what all this is just him expressing his fear of dying alone.
I don't need you. I can do this shit on my own so easily. But you don't want to do things alone, Lizzo.
I always thought it was interesting that Stryker is even in this, and I think the only reason Stryker is in this is because Stryker was the first person to actually tell him to his face about his like business. First he said that, you know, it's really impressive that an imp has their own business, which because of the caste system in hell is just absolutely unheard of. But then he sat there and ridiculed the way he's doing it because he could be doing better. He could be in a more successful and bigger spot if he had just listened to Stryker. And that might just be representing some of his like doubts of his own like business and his own like thoughts and how he thinks should be done. Anyway.
Didn't work out so well. Yet you still shove away anyone who gets too close until they resent you for being a selfish, shitty shit.
Fizz and Veronica makes more sense because Fizzarelli was his like best friend growing up, and Veronica is like his ex-lover, and probably like the first and last relationship that he ever had that even borderline seriousness until this time. But I never understood why Stryker was there. Also, I'm surprised that Millie doesn't end up in this. I'm surprised Millie doesn't show up in any hallucination.
Are you afraid to love people, Blitzy?
And this episode, and later on in the episode as well, is like where I think that Blitz has actually like subconsciously has a realization that he has more deeper feelings for Stolas other than just the transactional relationship because of this. Yeah, you know, Stola's asking if he's afraid to love people, which obviously he is afraid to love people because everyone that he has ever loved, he has hurt terribly or like killed. So, I mean, yeah, I would see why he is so worried to love someone, because if he actually truly does love someone, he's worried about them also suffering the same fate. And that's why he has such a rocky like relationship and contemplation of like his feelings for Stolas, because he really does love Stolas, but as soon as he says it out loud or as soon as he like acts upon those, he's worried to hurt them. And at the same time as that, he still has this fear of dying alone. He's scared to hurt people, but he's also scared to die alone. And it's conflicting. And you can see now why, like, this boy is so traumatized. And there's so much, like, going on in his head that, like, is never said.
We accept your true feelings, so promise me
that I can do to be true.
So we do get a little bit about Moxie too, and I don't think a lot of people talk about it because obviously we focus on Blitz, but like Moxie grew up in like a mafia where like everything was just kind of done for him by his mom, or his future was decided by his dad, because obviously he was going to take over the family business. And the one choice that he has made himself and that was confident in was Chaz, and Chaz left him. So I mean, the fact that Moxie is like so insecure in his decisions and in his own opinions is totally validated too, and no one ever talks about it. Also, and I didn't notice this until now, but like the little mark that Blitz has on his forehead, so the original like mark is like the mark that he shares with both Barbie and Fizzaroli, I guess as like a mark for like the circus that they grew up in. But in Moxie's mind, it's a broken heart because Moxie understands what Blitz is going through, and it's just so cute and adorable. Also, portraying Blitz as the Phantom is such a good call because, like, they could have made Moxie the Phantom because how much he loves this, but they didn't. They made Blitz the Phantom because Blitz is so misunderstood and is seen as a monster, but he's really just a regular guy with trauma, and it's such a good parallel.
Try one.
So this is gonna sound so, very niche. It's a very niche subject. And I don't think a lot of people know what the heck I'm talking about. But on Nickelodeon.com, when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles became a thing back in 2012. I know I've already talked about Ninja Turtles already, but the 2012 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is my favorite rendition. It got me really into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It has made my obsession to the point where Maritello is literally my name and Donatello combined. I don't think anyone has actually like figured that out yet, and I don't think I've ever talked about it. But that's how I got my YouTube name, is because it's literally Mari, derived from my name, Mariah, and Donatello. But anywho, in Nickelodeon.com, they had like this interactive comic when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out called Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or Tales from the Sewer, something like that. And Donatello goes on a rant in a flashback that the most worn out on a keypad will be the first and last numbers in a sequence, and you'll look for like the wear and tear on the numbers. So when I saw that everything was pristine except for one, I was like, oh, I get it. But yeah, so yeah, a Nickelodeon comic taught me how to break into a keypad guarded area.
Just keep doing a good job. Okay? You shoot and kill good, you escape things easy, you can be strategic and cold-blooded when you need to, and don't expect any more compliments. I'm maxed out.
Thank you, sir.
You know my name. Use it.
Thanks, Blitz.
I'm so happy that, like, right after their little, like, trip, they immediately just tried, and it's paid off so much. I love it so much. I remember when this came out, I was so impressed by this, like, sequence. It is so well done. The music is amazing. The animation is just phenomenal. Like, everything in here is just absolutely gorgeous. This is coming from someone who cannot stand combat, who cannot stand action movies. Like, the closest thing to spy movies I like is Austin Powers, and that's only because it's mostly comedy. But this is just absolutely gorgeous. Like, I don't think they're, like, I mean, like, you know, there's, I know there are, like, video awards or whatever, but they should have got something for this episode alone. Oh my god, it's beautiful. Also, I want to point out that the music like changes a bit depending like who is fighting, and it immediately goes to a slightly more Western sound when Millie immediately starts fighting, and I love it. Every time Millie is on screen, you get like a semi like Western kind of sound to it, and it's so good.
Daddy.
Oh, voice drop. I love Brandon Rogers. I love his voice. Don't ever drop an octave like that ever again if you don't want me to immediately swoon over a character. Please.
Who dare threaten my impish little plaything? Who said that?
I know that, like, in season 2, Ghostfuckers is, like, made to be, like, the scariest, like, episode. This is the freakiest, scariest episode, in my opinion, in this moment. And, like, the moment I, like, fell in love with Stolas, and I was just like, I get it now. I get it.
What's the matter, Demon Hunter? Never seen a real demon before.
Also, this is the first, like, episode I noticed, like, the Stolas sings Owl in a Cage, whatever you want to call it, instrumental, like, other than the circus episode in season 2. This is the first one I ever noticed it in, and it's so good. Like, the music and the possessed people and the writing with their blood and making the symbol and just everything. I love every little bit of this scene, and it just like reminds you that like Stolas isn't just some like pompous, rich, whiny little bird. He's a freaking demon, and he's fucking badass. Did I fangirl too hard there? I think I might have. I wish we got more of Stolas of just being a badass like that. Oh my god, there's like maybe one other time I remember him ever like changing form like that. Oh. Wow.
Most don't believe the word of the demon-obsessed lunatics. They are seen as kooks. Kooks. Such a silly word.
It's also really fun to see him go from like hardcore serious to like semi-concerning to just like joking and palling around like this is another day for him, which it probably is. But these guys are so dang traumatized from it all. It's just great. This is such a good episode. Oh my god. It's definitely not number one for me. Like there's a couple things I have like but like overall solid good episode. I love Truth Seekers so much. Such X-Files, like just gives me X-Files vibes. I love it. Also, Agent 1 is way more like good looking than I remember it being. Maybe it's just my inner fangirl just like shooting out after that whole Stolas bit, but like be a little less crazy and we'll talk. Also, I definitely want to see Agent 1 and Agent 2 like share like an actual like intimate moment. I ship those two so freaking hard. But yeah, no, solid freaking episode. I love Truth Seekers. And hey, look, I'm back to like being like basically drained. Look at me. I look literally so different compared to what I'm looking at right now. Anyway, if you liked the video that you saw, make sure you leave a like so I know that you enjoy it and I can make more content like this. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for other videos as well, and make sure to share this with your friends and fellow Helluva Boss lovers. Again, check out my TikTok and Instagram if you're also interested in that. And yeah, y'all have a wonderful day, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!
Yeah.